How long are you going to be dead? Man, it is a heavy, maybe even kind of morbid question to start with, I know, but it's exactly the kind of perspective shifting pattern interrupt that Dr. Wayne Dyer uses to really hook us in this explainer. Because when you actually stop and think about the fact that death is literally endless and life is just so breathtakingly brief, well, it establishes this immediate, intense urgency to live fully right now. Our goal today is to examine the source material of Dyer's groundbreaking work and learn how to permanently take back control of your emotions and your mind.
So think about it for a second. If you don't control your thoughts, who exactly does? Your spouse? Your boss? Your mom? We so often just walk around living under this complete illusion of emotional helplessness. But the absolute reality is, unless you are in some extreme, totally unnatural situation, you are the sole architect of your mental world. You, and literally only you, control your thinking apparatus.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to cover the myth of uncontrollable emotions, the disease of self-rejection, the approval-seeking trap, the hidden payoffs of misery, and finally, how to reclaim your present moment. Right. Section 1, the myth of uncontrollable emotions. You are the sum total of your choices. Let's get into it. For our whole lives, we've been sold this completely false idea that emotions like anger, sadness, or frustration just kind of happen to us without our consent, right? Like catching a cold or getting caught in a passing thunderstorm. But we can absolutely attack that myth using some really simple logic. Walk through these steps with me. Step 1, I can control my thoughts. Step 2, my feelings come from my thoughts. I mean, physically, you literally cannot have a feeling without your brain first processing a thought. So, step 3, the inescapable conclusion, I can control my feelings. It's simple, right? Well, actually, scratch that. It's simple, but it is not easy. Unloading our emotional habits is a whole lot like learning to drive a stick-shift car. At first, you have 3 pedals and only 2 feet. You stall, you jerk the car around, and it takes immense present-moment awareness and practice. But eventually, after thousands of tries, you just get in the car and drive. Retraining your brain to control your emotions is exactly the same. Super difficult at first, but entirely 100% possible. And this brilliantly illustrates how our everyday vocabulary totally reinforces this learned emotional helplessness. Just look at the victim language we use constantly. You hurt my feelings, or he makes me sick. It implies someone else has the remote control to your brain. Compare that to the empowered language. I hurt my feelings because of what I told myself about your reaction to me. Or I make myself sick. It's a real game changer. It is time we rewrite our internal scripts to reflect the actual truth. You are absolutely responsible for how you feel. Dyer introduces a phenomenal concept here called immobilization, and this is absolutely crucial. It's the ultimate test for whether an emotion is actually worth keeping around. Immobilization is basically any state where you aren't functioning at the level you'd like to because of a negative emotion. If your anger stops you from thinking clearly, or your shyness keeps you from introducing yourself to someone, or maybe your worry stops you from sleeping, you are immobilized. And if an emotion stops you from doing what you want, it simply must be eliminated. No exceptions. Moving on to Section 2, the disease of self-rejection. Stop confusing self-worth with behavior. So society trains us from childhood to essentially put ourselves last, treating self-love as if it's some kind of selfish conceit. And because of that training, we do these really subtle, rapid-fire things every single day to diminish our own value. Think about it. Have you ever rejected a compliment by saying something like, "Oh, this old thing, I got it on clearance"? Or maybe you refused to order the expensive meal you really wanted just because you didn't feel worth it? Have you let someone call you dumb or silly as a pet name? Every single time we do this, we're reinforcing a lack of worth. But listen closely to this. Your self-worth cannot be verified by others. You are worthy simply because you exist and you say it is so. Now, this totally redefines how we look at love. The source material defines love as the ability and willingness to allow those that you care for to be what they choose for themselves without insisting they satisfy your expectations. It's powerful stuff, but here is the real kicker. You absolutely cannot give or receive this kind of unconditional love until you have a massive dose of self-love first. Because think about it. If you view yourself as worthless, what is your love really worth to anyone else? All right, Section 3, the approval-seeking trap. Why do we need everyone to like us? Now, you might be wondering why this happens. Wanting applause is perfectly natural, sure. But when it mutates into a desperate, clinging need for approval, you sacrifice your entire identity. So why do we do it? Well, because it is systematically bred into us from day one. Let's break down exactly how. In the family, kids are conditioned to check everything out with mommy or daddy, internalizing the message that they shouldn't trust their own judgment. In school, you literally have to ask permission to use the bathroom, teaching you early on that success means conforming to others' standards. And in the media and our culture, we are constantly sold endless products to mask our natural human odors and flaws, driving home the message that you've gotta hide your real self to be accepted. And what's truly wild is how our culture literally programs us to romanticize this codependency through popular music. Just think about these lyrics. I can't live if living is without you. Without you, I'm nothing. If you actually take a step back and really look at them, these messages are absurd. They explicitly tell us that our entire value as a human being is entirely dependent on someone else's approval. It's crazy. To break free, we have to accept the 50-50 rule. It's pretty straightforward. No matter what you do, what you say, or how you act, at least half the world is always going to disagree with you. Disapproval is just unavoidable. Abraham Lincoln actually understood this perfectly. He knew that trying to answer all his critics would literally be a full-time job. His quote here shows the immense, unshakable strength of just ignoring your detractors and trusting your own internal compass. But there is a supreme irony to the whole approval-seeking thing, and it's illustrated beautifully by this little fable of the cat. The people who actually get the most approval in life are always the independent, straight-talking ones who never, ever chase it. When you stop chasing approval like a cat frantically chasing its tail and just go about the business of living as your authentic self, approval just naturally seems to follow you. Let's move to Section 4, the hidden payoffs. Why do we hold on to misery?
So the crucial point we need to ask is, if approval-seeking and self-rejection are so incredibly damaging, why do we actively choose them? There has to be a hidden payoff, right? And here it is. It is simply safer to blame someone else for our feelings than to do the extremely hard work of taking charge of our own lives. If your spouse makes you mad, or society makes you feel ugly, well then you don't have to change. You avoid the risk entirely, and you completely avoid taking any personal responsibility. It's the easy way out.
To finally break this cycle, we have to really look at what drives us. Dyer contrasts deficiency motivation with growth motivation. Think about it like this. If you put a rock under a microscope, it doesn't change. It's dead. But coral grows and changes. The only real evidence of life is growth. We absolutely must stop trying to improve just because we feel broken or deficient in some way, and instead choose growth motivation, literally using our life energy to become greater, simply because we are alive and totally capable. Let's move to our final section, Section 5, Reclaiming the Present Moment, Taking Charge of Your Now. Let's see how this all builds together. The present moment is literally the only one you ever actually have, yet we constantly sacrifice it by worrying about the future or regretting the past. So here is a rapid-fire list of actionable, everyday strategies you can use immediately to build self-reliance and stay firmly in the now. Ready? When someone gives you a compliment, just say thank you, period. Don't deflect. If someone tries to manipulate you by withholding approval, label it out loud. Say, I guess you'd like me to change what I just said. Actually, purposefully seek out disagreement just to practice staying calm. Order the exact meal you want at the restaurant because you are absolutely worth it. And when you catch yourself using a self-put-down, correct it out loud in real time. Boom. Which brings us right back to our original, somewhat morbid but essential pattern interrupt question. How long are you going to be dead? The answer is forever. Wishing, hoping, and regretting are incredibly dangerous ways to evade your only real possession, which is this exact, beautiful present moment. Because you see, happiness is not some mystical future event that you need to painstakingly prepare for. It's not something that magically arrives when you finally get the big promotion or the perfect relationship. It is a natural condition that you can choose right here, right now. Live, be you, enjoy, love. I want to leave you with this final, provocative question to carry with you today. Are you going to choose to be personally free, or will you remain comfortably chained to the expectations of others? The choice is entirely yours. It's time to step out of your erroneous zones, permanently take back your mind, and start truly living.